Hey, lady, are you a woman who loves the Lord and who also enjoys beautiful things? Well, if you are, then you are personally invited to join my exclusive Christian women's group. In this group, we chat about clothes, beauty, home decor, parenting, marriage, cooking, and of course, our Christian walk. So be sure to join by clicking the link below. I hope to chat with you soon. Now back to our show. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about 5 powerful questions that every woman should be asking herself. The whole goal of asking yourself these powerful questions is so that you can take ownership, that you can take control of your position. You can be empowered to make informed decisions. We don't want to just go through life based on the whimsy and the opinions of others. No, lady, ask yourself these 5 powerful questions often, so that you can truly make informed decisions about your own life. And of course, we can't forget, we have to submit all of this to God. Hey lady, welcome back to your new favorite talk show, Grown Lady Chat, with me, your host, Dr. Sherunda Simone. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Thank you so very much for being here. Be sure to drop in the comment down below. That way I can welcome you and we can chat it up. And if you have been tuning in, thank you so very much. We are over 100 strong here on Grown Lady Chat, and that is just in 1 month. All right. So the first episode of Grown Lady Chat went live on June 12th. And here we are in July, and we are doing so well and growing so rapidly. And I'm really grateful for each of you who have been chatting it up in the comments. All right, I see you. I see you liking and following on social media and subscribing to the channel. It means a lot to me. And I'm just excited because I know that God has so much for us. And today's episode is not going to disappoint. All right, so make sure you watch until the very end. Now, in today's episode, like I mentioned before, we are going to be talking about 5 powerful questions. And if you are a woman who is about her business, then lady, these are questions that you need to be asking yourself. But don't only do it once. Ask yourself these questions repeatedly because, life changes, right? We grow, we evolve, our circumstances change, our goals in life change, our resources change. And over the years, I've realized that when I personally have the answers to these questions, I'm able to better position myself for success, whether it's financial success, whether it is professional success, whether it is improvement in my own faith walk, all right, whether it is in my marriage even. So these are really powerful questions that I know are going to bless you. Now, before I forget, when we do a question of the day for each and every episode, you guys have really been enjoying these question of the day, especially last episode. Ooh, we had some really good conversation about that one. So today's question of the day, I want for you to drop a comment and let me know what is one thing that you enjoy doing for yourself. Purely for yourself. Now, it might benefit others, right? So like for me, I enjoy baking, but my family benefits because I should not be eating the whole cake by myself. But let me know in the comment section, what is one thing that you enjoy doing that is purely for yourself? I'm excited to read your comments. Now, each and every episode, I like to remind you that we do random giveaways here on Grown Lady Chat. And since we are coming to the end of season 1 on Grown Lady Chat, then our first giveaway is happening really, really soon, okay? So at the end or toward the end of today's episode, I'll be letting you know when the first giveaway will be announced. But as a giveaway winner, you might get a home decor item, right? Beauty, skincare, makeup, faith-based resources, personal development resources. So all of the possible items that you could get are things that most of us enjoy, right? So make sure that you are entered in the giveaway. And the easiest way to do that is just by answering the question of the day in the episodes. But of course, if there is something that I say that really resonates with you, that's like an aha moment, you can also drop that down in the comment section below because I love to chat it up. And now it's time for Dr. Sherunda Simone's random but helpful information. Lady, if you take a vitamin D supplement, make sure that you are taking it around the same time you're eating a healthy fat. So a piece of avocado, egg, a nice fillet of salmon, or even a small bite of dark chocolate. That way, the vitamin D is better absorbed in your body and you have increased bioavailability. You're welcome. The very first powerful question that every woman should ask herself is, what's my motivation? Lady, I know that I have been prone to doing things to help others. And we do things to make others happy. We make decisions because we think that it's going to benefit everyone else. They'll be proud of us. They'll say, yay, good job, you. But then we never stop to really ask ourselves, do I want this? Is this the goal that I want to achieve? Or am I doing it just because I want someone else to be proud of me? And years ago, I had to really stop and ask myself that question, like, Sherunda, what's your motivation? Now, oftentimes we do things because we see others do it, right? Let's take, for instance, your mom or your auntie or even, your father. You admire them, you look up to them, and so you see them doing a certain thing in life and you're like, oh, well, yeah, I should do it that way too. And as you get older, you do the same things that you've seen others do. But lady, I want us to take into account their why, their motivation. Maybe their financial situation was different from yours, or maybe they had different lifestyle goals than yours, right? Let's say, for instance, you were raised in a single parent home. And so you saw your mother or your father, whichever parent was there, they did certain things a certain way. And here you are in a two-person home, and you're trying to still live as though you are in a single parent home. We can't always do that. We have to stop and ask ourselves, what's the motivation? Or maybe you are in school pursuing a career or a profession and you are just chugging away and you are making the sacrifices. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, is this really what you want? Or is this because someone else wanted this and they planted that seed and now you took it as your own? Okay, I've been there, done that, all right? So you have to ask yourself, what's my motivation? Am I making the decision that is best for me, or am I making a decision that is best for other people and I want their approval? Very, very powerful question. Now remember, your situation is different from others. Your lifestyle is different. Your goals, your resources, your money, it's different from other people. So while their decisions might have worked for them, it might not always work for you. And so you have to ask yourself, what's my motivation? Do I want to accomplish this goal? Do I want this lifestyle? Do I want this house? Do I want this car? Do I want this degree? Whatever it is, whether it is something tangible or even intangible goals. Why do I want it? Because see, if you're not doing it for yourself, then it's going to be very hard for you to keep it up. You're going to want to give up a lot sooner. You're going to want to change course a lot sooner. Now, of course, as a Christian, we always have to remember, like, our starting point is always, what does God want from me? Okay, so let's not forget that the first question is this what God wants from me? And then you also have to look and say, okay, well, what's my motivation? Why am I doing this? And am I really going to be happy with the outcome? The next powerful question that every woman should be asking herself is, who's with me? I like to think of it as your fave 5. The 5 people that you spend the most time with or who influence your life the most. Now, years ago, at least over a decade ago, I produced a CD entitled 6 Principles of Success. Drop down in the comments, let me know if you have been rocking with me since 6 Principles of Success, all right? And I know a few of you have been because I continue to see your name on social media, you comment, you chat it up with me. So yeah, let me know if you are from back in the day, okay, like an old G. So in this CD, or on the CD, I talked about the importance of your fave 5. So your inner circle, the people who influence your life the most. And the Bible has many Bible verses that tell us the importance of our inner circle and how much it impacts us. So I shared the story about the eagle and the chicken. So the story goes that there was an eagle who was erroneously born into a chicken coop. So the eagle grew up thinking that he, or let's say she was a chicken. So she looks around and she sees the other chickens, fluttering off the ground, but never flying. And they're clucking and plucking just like chickens do. And so as she grew up, she saw herself as a chicken. She looked, she said, I'm a bird, they're a bird. Okay, so we're all chickens. So she was living her life as this chicken. And then one day she looks up and she sees this majestic bird flying in the sky. And so she taps her other friend chicken and she's like, hey, whoa, what kind of bird is that? And her friend, another chicken, says, oh, that right there is an American bald eagle, one of the most majestic birds that ever soared in the sky. And so the eagle is looking and just watching as the bird is flying. And she's like, wow, I want to be like her one day. And the chicken beside her says, oh no, you're a chicken like us. You're here in this coop. You pluck and cluck like the rest of us. You've never even flown a day in your life. Yeah, you'll never be like that American bald eagle. And you know what the sad thing is, lady? That eagle lived and died thinking that it was a simple chicken. The moral of the story is it matters who you spend your time with. Now, over a decade ago, social media wasn't the major influence like it is now. So I don't even think I added this piece in on that CD. But what I do want to let you know is that it's not only the fave 5 as far as the people who you see and chat with and you can, they know your name and you know their names. No, it's also the people that you follow on social media, the accounts that you subscribe to, that you're constantly scrolling and liking and ingesting, right, with your eyesight and your senses. So we have to be very careful about the influence because as we are going through life, we want to be around people who are going to sharpen us, who are going to motivate and inspire us, and going to positively push us to be the best version of ourselves through God, right? So we have to ask ourselves, who's with me? Iron sharpens iron, but guess what? If you're the sharpest iron in your circle, chances are you're dull. So we need to make sure that the people that we are surrounding ourselves with, the accounts that we're following, the people that we're subscribing to, that we are literally following on social media, that they're actually adding to and benefiting us. So it's really important to ask yourself the powerful question, who's with me? Iron sharpens iron. Make sure that you are not the sharpest person in your circle. I am constantly looking around to make sure that I am surrounding myself with especially other women who are strong in areas where I am weak, who are at a place where I would like to be one day. And it's not even like a jealousy thing. No, it's an aspirational. Okay, I know that she can do it, so I want to do that as well. And that goes for the people I follow on social media. I am constantly doing like a refresh of the people that I follow. Another thing too is because, our life circumstances change. Our goals change in life. The seasons of life change. So when I was pregnant, I was watching and following a lot of, pregnancy related information and social media accounts. Well, I'm not pregnant anymore. I don't have a young baby. I have young children. I don't have a young baby anymore. So guess what? I had to let those influences go. I had to change up my inner circle, my inner social media circle, right? So ask yourself the powerful question, who's with me? All right, this third very powerful question that every woman should be asking herself is, what's my gap? Lady, look, I know that you are full of so many awesome talents and skills and resources and so creative. You're so determined. You have so many strengths. But guess what? You also have gaps. You also have weaknesses. And we need to ask ourselves and truthfully identify our own gaps. And the reason for that is because once you know what your weakness is, once you know where your gap is, then you can either find a way to close the gap or bridge the gap with information, with gaining new skills. Or you can realize, like, you know what? That's just not in my wheelhouse. That's not something that I'm skilled at doing. And it would be better if I were to get someone in my inner circle who has that skill, who can be a resource for me to lean on and collaborate with. Women, we need to collaborate with other people who have the strengths that we don't have. And it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. I think that so often, ladies, we have a problem saying, I can't do it all, because it's like we're expected to do everything. But we can't, and it's okay. Say it with me. I can't do everything, and it's okay. Once you identify the gaps that you have, you can then find ways to overcome the shortcomings by surrounding yourself. Remember, that goes back to number 2, who's with me, right? Who's with you? Who's in your inner circle that can fill the gap? Well, first you have to know there's a gap for you to actually fill it, right? So ask yourself, what's my gap? Find ways to increase your own knowledge base. But if you find yourself with a gap that is just not in your wheelhouse, like I know that there are certain things that I would just not be able to do, whether it's because I just don't have the interest to sustain the skill, or because I just don't have the capacity, like my mind is just not wired that way. That's okay, especially as a business owner. I realize that there are certain things for my business that I just don't have the strength to do. I don't have the skill set to do. And yes, I can teach myself, but it would take me so much longer instead of just finding someone who has that resource to collaborate with, to work with, to pay to do it, right? So ask yourself the powerful question, what is my gap? All right, number 4. Powerful question, ladies. Woo, this one's a good one. We need to be asking ourselves this all the time, okay? Who do I need to forgive? I know. It hit somebody right there. Who do I need to forgive? You thought I was going to end today's episode without saying something like that? No. Powerful question. Who do I need to forgive? And it doesn't even have to be an egregious act. It could be where you felt slighted. It could be where your feelings were hurt. And maybe you got over it, and maybe you're still cordial with that person, but every time there's like a trigger, right? And it's like the bruise is still there. It's like, ooh, ouch, that still hurts, right? Ask yourself, who do I need to forgive? And once you do that, there is a release when you make the decision to forgive. Not necessarily forget, okay, because you have to be wise. So don't continuously put yourself in the position to be hurt or manipulated or abused. No. But ask yourself, who do I need to forgive? Remember, forgiveness is for the benefit of the forgiver, not necessarily the forgiven. Yes, the forgiven can benefit, but it heals you. It allows you to move on. It allows you to gain the wisdom from the experience and then act accordingly. Lady, when we hold people up in our hearts, when we are not forgiving of others, then it can lead to bitterness and anger and strife and malice. That's not to say that you should allow yourself to be abused, not at all. That's not to say that you should forget necessarily, but it's more so that you can move on, that you can heal, that you can learn from the circumstance, recalibrate, and keep it moving. So lady, ask yourself often, who do I need to forgive? Oh, and before I forget, could it be you? Could it be that you need to forgive yourself? Yeah, there are things that I have to remind myself because, Satan, he is the accuser of the brethren. So he likes to say, oh, remember when you did this? Remember when you made that mistake? You're not all that good. No, the Bible says I'm the righteousness of God through Christ. So Satan, you're a liar. Shut up. I'm not perfect, but I am righteous through Christ. Leave me alone. I forgive myself. And you make amends with people, right? You apologize. You do the work as well. But lady, could it be that you need to forgive yourself so that you can move on? I don't know. You tell me, or not. But either way, forgive. Hey lady, it's your girl here, Dr. Sherunda Simone, and you're watching Grown Lady Chat, your new favorite talk show for Christian women. This last one, it's not always easy to do, but lady, it's important. And once you do it, it is extremely effective. Lady, you need to ask yourself, what combination do I need to change? Let me explain. Years ago, when I was a young girl in high school, I was dealing with mean girls, okay? And I remember just being so hurt and bothered because I genuinely love people. I can talk to a perfect stranger and have a great conversation. That's just who I am. I'm much like my father. So it really bothered me when I was like, I like people. I'm nice to these girls. Why are they so mean, right? And it was, I believe, in like maybe 8th grade, which is considered second form in Jamaica. And I remember I was looking through one of my Trapper Keepers. So it was the beginning of the year, and I had a new trapper keeper. I'm telling my age. If you know what a trapper keeper is, let me know in the comment section down below. So in my trapper keeper, there was a quote. And once I memorized this quote and it really sunk down into my inner person, it was life transforming. And the quote is this: no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Lady, if I could have given Eleanor Roosevelt a hug around her neck, I would have, because I was so set free in that moment when I realized, like, I don't have to be bothered by what you said or how you acted. I don't have to react based on how you treated me. Now, it's not always easy. It is not always easy. And there are many times that I want to lash out and I want to say something back and I want to treat you as how you treated me. Absolutely. But lady, we've got to learn how to change the combination. Because what I realize to be true is that you can inspire people, you can pray for people, you can beg people, you can try to, coerce people, beg for them to change. You can motivate them, but you cannot change anybody else. You can't control anybody. The only person you can control is yourself. The only person you can control is yourself. And so what I've begun to do over the years is stop and ask myself, what trigger am I allowing? And what combination do I need to change so that I'm not triggered? And you know when you're triggered. You feel it, that bruise. It's like, oh, I remember that. And you look down and yeah, it's still black and blue, right? It still has that ecchymosis right there. Oh, it still hurts. And so we have to begin to change the combination, change the trigger. Because if not, we'll continue to allow ourselves to be hurt repeatedly. And we'll continue to allow ourselves to react instead of give a proper response. And sometimes your response needs to be nothing, just letting it go. Now, that's not to say that you should allow yourself to be abused and, manipulated and hurt. No, not at all. But lady, we've got to change the combination so that we're not giving people the upper hand in these situations. So I remember as a young girl, when I read that quote, no one can make me feel inferior without my consent. I took it to heart. Lady, let me remind you that you have to give consent. And it's especially difficult when we're talking about our loved ones and people we care about. So I'm not saying that you have to be cold and harsh and cut people off. No, but sometimes we have to change the combination. Sometimes we have to say, you know what, I'm not going to be triggered. I'm going to let it go. Lady, once you do this, once you ask yourself that powerful question, you will find yourself that you are in a better position to move forward. Now, I did promise you at the beginning of today's episode that I would let you know when the first giveaway drawing will be, when I'll be announcing the first winner, and that is going to be in episode number 11. Make sure that you are subscribed with your bell notifications so that you don't miss that video, because the winner will have 24 hours to respond so she can claim her winnings. I would like for you to drop your own powerful question down below. Is there a question that you routinely ask yourself? And when you get the answer, you find that you are more empowered to move forward, let me know down in the comments, because I'm sure we can all learn from each other. And if one of the powerful questions really jolted you and really, made you feel like, I need to make some changes, also let me know that in the comment section, because remember, I like to chat it up. Alrighty, lady, that is it for today's episode of Grown Lady Chat. Be sure to smash the like button and chat it up in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button with your bell notifications. Until next time, remember, I am Dr. Sherunda Simone, and I will either see you at the top or from the top. You decide. Bye.